How did Vietnam War influence the Weathermen? Imagine a time when protests filled the streets and young people were questioning authority like never before. The Vietnam War, a conflict that deeply divided the United States, played a significant role in shaping the actions and ideologies of various activist groups during the 1960s and 1970s. One of the most radical factions to emerge from this period was the Weather Underground organization, commonly known as the Weathermen. The Weathermen were formed in 1969 as a splinter group from the Students for a Democratic Society, a prominent student activist organization. Their formation was largely a response to the escalating violence and destruction associated with the Vietnam War. As the war continued, many young Americans became increasingly disillusioned with the government's policies and the moral implications of the conflict. The Weathermen believed that more radical actions were necessary to bring about change, reflecting a growing sentiment among some activists that peaceful protests were insufficient. The Weathermen adopted a revolutionary stance, advocating for armed struggle against what they perceived as an oppressive government. Their ideology was influenced by the anti-imperialist sentiments that were prevalent during the Vietnam War. They viewed the United States' involvement in Vietnam as an extension of colonialism and imperialism, which fueled their desire to fight back against the system. The war's brutality and the images of suffering broadcasted into American homes galvanized their commitment to radical action. In addition to their ideological motivations, the Weathermen were also inspired by the tactics employed by other revolutionary movements around the world. They sought to emulate groups that were fighting against imperialism and oppression, drawing parallels between their struggles and the fight against the Vietnam War. This global perspective helped shape their strategies and justified their use of violence as a means to achieve their goals. The Weathermen's actions included bombings and other forms of direct action, which they believed were necessary to disrupt the status quo and draw attention to their cause. Their radical approach was a direct reflection of the anger and frustration many felt regarding the Vietnam War and its impact on American society. The war not only influenced their tactics but also shaped their identity as a group committed to revolutionary change. In summary, the Vietnam War significantly influenced the Weathermen by intensifying their anti-government sentiments, inspiring their radical tactics, and shaping their revolutionary identity. The conflict served as a catalyst for their actions, illustrating how deeply the war affected the political landscape and the minds of those who sought to challenge it.